Welcome back to Ice Feather TV. Today we're exploring an intriguing and ever more pertinent subject: lab grown meats and alternative proteins. These advancements are on the brink of transforming our food systems and will have extensive effects on our environment, health, and society. But why does this matter so much? Well, the thing is, traditional meat production stands as a primary driver of environmental harm, fueling deforestation, water contamination, and greenhouse gas emissions. As the global population expands, the appetite for meat surges, underscoring the urgency of discovering sustainable and ethical substitutes. Lab grown meats and alternative proteins emerge as hopeful remedies to these challenges, providing a path to fulfill our dietary requirements without inflicting the same level of harm on our planet. Let's delve into lab grown meats, also referred to as cultured or cell based meat. This groundbreaking product is developed by nurturing animal cells in a controlled setting, eliminating the necessity of raising and slaughtering animals. The procedure commences with a tiny sample of animal cells, nourished to facilitate growth and replication. Gradually, these cells develop into muscle tissue. This method not only replicates the texture and taste of regular meat, but also offers the possibility of customization for specific nutritional requirements. Lab grown meats offer numerous benefits across various aspects. Environmentally, they significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions and lower land and water usage compared to traditional farming. Studies indicate that cultured meat production can slash greenhouse gas emissions by up to 96% and require 99% less land and 96% less water. This conservation of resources can help combat climate change and protect natural habitats by decreasing the need for deforestation and intensive agricultural practices. Societally, lab grown meats have the potential to tackle food scarcity and security issues, especially in regions where conventional meat production is unsustainable. This becomes critical as the global population is projected to reach 9.7 billion by 2050, escalating the demand for protein rich foods. In terms of health, the controlled production environments can lower the risk of food-borne illnesses and harmful additives, resulting in a safer and potentially healthier meat product. For example, lab-grown meat can be manufactured without the use of antibiotics, which are commonly employed in traditional livestock farming and contribute to antibiotic resistance. Economically, lab-grown meats create new markets and job opportunities in the biotech sector, fostering innovation and economic growth. The rise of new companies and startups focusing on cultured meat can propel economic progress and technological advancements. Ethically speaking, lab grown meats eliminate animal suffering and uphold animal welfare, positioning themselves as a more compassionate choice for meat eaters. By producing meat without the need to slaughter animals, I think lab grown meats address ethical dilemmas concerning animal rights and cruelty, appealing to consumers who prioritize animal welfare. However, lab grown meats face challenges and limitations. One significant issue is whether they truly have a substantial environmental advantage. While they do mitigate certain environmental impacts, the energy demand for cell cultivation can be considerable. For instance, research from the University of Oxford indicates that energy intensive processes of lab grown meat production could lead to higher energy consumption compared to some traditional methods. That is, if renewable energy sources are not utilized, Although eliminating conventional meat production could yield significant benefits in terms of reducing methane emissions and deforestation compared to traditional livestock farming, it relies on enhancing the energy efficiency of lab grown meat production. Taste and texture are also crucial considerations. Does lab grown meat match the taste of traditional meat? Well, initial reviews vary, with some lauding the similarity while others detect subtle distinctions. A study by the Food Innovation and Resource Efficiency Program showed that while many tasters found lab grown meat nearly indistinguishable from conventional meat, some observed minor textural and flavor differences, suggesting the need for further enhancement to perfectly mimic traditional meat's sensory qualities. Nutrition and health are additional factors to contemplate. Is lab grown meat genuinely more nutritious and healthier? Well, the answer hinges on the production process and nutrient quality. According to the Good Food Institute, lab grown meat can be formulated to contain elevated levels of essential vitamins and minerals, potentially rendering it healthier than conventional meat. However, the nutritional composition can vary significantly based on the growth medium and nutrient supplements employed during cultivation. Affordability is also a significant concern. Presently, lab grown meat is costly and not easily accessible to the average consumer, raising doubts about its widespread adoption potential. The inaugural lab grown burger produced in 2013, for example, carried a price tag of $330,000, equivalent to the cost of a high end sports car for a burger. Although prices have since plummeted, Musa Burger, the burger's creator, has reduced cost to approximately $10 per patty. Lab grown meat still remains more expensive than traditional meat. As production scales up and technology advances, costs are projected to decrease, but achieving price parity with conventional meat still poses a significant challenge. Next, let's look at how insect based and fermentation derived proteins are made. Insect based proteins production starts by choosing suitable insects like crickets, mealworms, or black soldier fly larvae, known for their high protein content and efficient feed conversion. These insects are raised in a controlled environment and are fed organic waste or special feed. Once mature, they are harvested, cleaned, and processed into forms like powders, pastes, or whole insects for food or animal feed. Fermentation derived protein involves using microorganisms like bacteria, yeast, or fungi to create protein rich foods. There are two main types: traditional fermentation and precision fermentation. In traditional fermentation, plant based ingredients like soybeans or peas are fermented by microorganisms to increase protein content and digestibility. Foods like miso and natto are examples of traditionally fermented products. Precision fermentation, on the other hand, involves genetically modifying microorganisms to produce specific proteins. These microorganisms are grown in bioreactors, fed sugars and nutrients, and therefore they produce target proteins through metabolic processes. The proteins are then harvested, purified, and used in food products, offering high quality proteins with specific nutritional benefits and functions. These methods combine the efficiency of insects and the potential of microbial fermentation to meet the growing global protein demand sustainably. In terms of cost and scalability, insect based and fermentation derived proteins offer an affordable nutrition solution for the increasing global population. The Food and Agriculture Organization states that insects can convert feed into protein 4 times more efficiently than cattle, making them a cost-effective protein source. Similarly, fermentation derived proteins, like those from Perfect Day using precision fermentation, can be produced economically at scale with low input costs. In terms of health benefits, these proteins are rich in essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals, supporting a well rounded diet. A study in the journal Food Chemistry highlights that insect proteins contain vital amino acids, omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids, as well as micronutrients like iron, zinc, and B vitamins. Fermentation derived proteins like those from corn are high in fiber, low in saturated fat, and offer a healthy alternative to conventional meat products. From a societal standpoint, these protein sources can offer affordable nutrition in developing areas, addressing issues of malnutrition and food security. The FAO underscores the potential of edible insects to enhance food security in regions with high malnutrition rates due to their cost effectiveness and high nutritional value. Utilizing fermentation technology locally can reduce dependence on imported food, bolstering food sovereignty and security. However, there are challenges and concerns to take into account. One significant issue is whether these alternative protein sources are genuinely beneficial for the environment. While they generally have lower emissions and resource requirements, their overall impact depends on production methods and on scale. For example, large scale insect farming without sustainable practices could lead to resource depletion and habitat destruction. Similarly, if precision fermentation relies heavily on non renewable energy sources, the energy demand could negate some environmental advantages. A study in Nature Sustainability stressed that the environmental benefits of alternative proteins hinge on the energy sources and farming practices utilized. Furthermore, cultural norms and personal preferences pose barriers to the acceptance of insect based foods. Surveys in Western nations, like one conducted by the European Food Safety Authority, reveal significant reluctance among people to consume insects, citing unfamiliarity and disgust as key reasons. Overcoming these cultural obstacles necessitates education, strategic marketing, and gradual introduction of insect based products in familiar formats such as protein bars or flour initially. Ethical considerations also enter the discussion. Is it ethical to consume insects while refraining from eating other animals? This query sparks broader conversations about our dietary choices and their ethical implications. Although insects are less cognitively advanced than mammals and birds, some argue that they can still feel pain and distress. Ensuring humane treatment and minimizing suffering in insect farming mirrors concerns in conventional livestock agriculture. Moreover, the ethical discourse extends to the overall sustainability of our food systems, questioning the ethicality of opting for plant based proteins with potentially lower environmental impacts. Personally, I have to admit that the idea of eating anything with insects does not sit well with me, and I know many share this sentiment. Regarding lab grown meat, I haven't had the chance to try it yet, primarily due to its limited availability and the fact that it's still quite expensive. However, I am genuinely intrigued by how it will progress and become more accessible in the future. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Would you be willing to try these alternative proteins and lab grown meats? What is your perspective on this issue? Do you believe they could offer solutions to our current food and environmental challenges? If you enjoyed this video, please show your support by giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with your friends, and also remember to subscribe to Wise Feather TV for more intriguing insights. Thank you.